Welcome, everyone, to the Heart of the Artist. I am your co host, Whisper Poet. I have an amazing co host over there, Catalyst. Woo woo. Today, we have such an exciting interview. I cannot wait to talk to this woman with you, Gifted Johnson Wilkinson. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
I want to start off by saying that not only are you one of my favorite poets, you are one of my favorite people in our poet community. You have the kindest heart. You are genuinely a kind and loving and wonderful human. And that light just shines out of you. You are so welcoming. You do your show during the week. And I always love, how you talk about this is the space that I want to create for other people to share their work. You want to let others shine. Just you have such a generous and loving heart, and I'm just so glad to have met you in this space. And I'm even more excited about meeting you in person in April at the Charlotte Poetry Fest.
Too. Me too. Oh gosh, thank you so much. You're gonna make me cry, which is
Okay,
easy
well,
to do.
listen, we cry on this show. It's what we do. So I'm gonna make you cry. You're gonna make me cry. It's just a foregone conclusion. So it's just what we're going. That's how we're gonna roll.
There it is.
So, will you please kind of give us your backstory, how you got into poetry, spoken word, writing, all of those things? Will you tell us about you?
Oh gosh. I first started writing as a young girl. It was a way just for me to express myself because I was in a family full of women, strong-willed women that spoke their mind. And so I was this little thing, and that was a way for me to express the thoughts that were in my mind. So I would just write, and sometimes I would share, and then sometimes I would just write for me to get those thoughts out of my head. So yeah, it was for me. And as my
Yep.
phone is ringing in
Do
the
you,
background.
I mean, if you need to take the call, you can take the call. I don't want you to avoid an emergency. Um, how did you transition from a young woman writing it? About phone.
Is that
Sorry
your
about that.
phone?
That was my phone. That's funny. But how did you go from kind of a young woman sort of recording her private thoughts to transitioning into like a poetic verse style?
Um, in college, I took a couple of English courses because I was good at writing. And so I started back writing more formally in college, but I didn't begin to share those things until I got in my 30s, believe it or not. Um, Actually, late 20s, early 30s. A friend of mine was at this place called Love Jones. It was called Love Jones. And I went to see her and was like, "Ooh, I love it. I love it." And so I wanted to give it a try. And so, you had to bring your own poetry. And so I did. And they used to have Love Jones Thursdays. And I would go to, it was called Cafe Tierras, is what it was called. And I would share my poetry there. Um, and I loved it. I loved how freeing it was being on that stage and telling my stories in a poetic form. So yeah, I would say yeah. That's why I fell in love with it and knew that this was something I wanted to continue to do.
Have you seen across the time of your writing in verse, have you seen an evolution of your style?
Oh, yeah. Great question, by the way. Um, I have. I don't know when it was, but I did a poetic stage play And forgive the title, everyone. Here we go. It was called Coochie Chronicles. Um, and if you would picture, get in your mind, like the vagina monologues. So it's very similar to that, but the underlining theme for Coochie Chronicles was um, to create awareness about women issues, and in particular, women's sexual um, encounters, and creating awareness at the time um, for AIDS and HIV. Yep, Coochie Chronicles.
I absolutely love that. I love that. And I love
Oh
giving
yeah,
voice to women's sexuality because our sexuality has been so limited and
yes.
vilified in
I
history.
was just about, that's the perfect word. Yes, vilified. And um, this was a way of us being able to share it openly and say that it's okay for us to talk about it. And that's actually what we did. We talked about it in many different forms. And for me, it was my opportunity to share some things that had happened to me as a young child, the sexual traumas that had happened to me as a young girl. And I shared it in a poetic form, and it touched other people. And that created this spark, this fire, that I got to keep talking about it. I have to keep sharing my story because it's not only my story, it's so many, unfortunately, so many others. And as children, especially in Black families, we were taught, shh, you don't talk about those stories. You don't share. What happens in this house stays in this house. And that's the mentality we had. But it was poisoning slowly the people who we are and can be. So the more I shared, the more I healed and helped others to heal. Yeah.
There's something about I too have a sexually abusive past. So it's so empowering and emotional for me to hear other women tell their stories. It just resonates so deeply within me. And I think you're right. The more we share things and someone else who has, maybe suffered something similar, I think it's very validating. It's
Yes.
validating. You know that you're not alone, that there's a sisterhood out there ready to lift you and love you and help you evolve through it. Um, and it's just it's wonderful.
Thanks. Yep. Love that comment. Thank you, Mr. Witz.
Since we're talking about this, if I could ask a question about it, and I don't want to be push into area that's uncomfortable. So please, say, oh, let's move off from that. But you made the comment, we don't talk about it. What happens here stays here.
Mhm.
Um, so the impression that I got was maybe that you were able to talk about it with maybe your mother or your grandmother, and that they kind of said, okay, but we can't talk about that. Like, I'm sorry you went through that, but we can't talk about that. Was that?
Mm, mm. I only wish those conversations could have happened. Um, my mother passed when I was only 14. And, and when I tried to speak to my grandmother about it, yeah, she was the one who said, we don't talk about those things. Um, and I never got a chance to confront her about those things before she passed. So those conversations did not happen in my household. I wish they had of. Um, Maybe that could have helped me a little bit earlier in my life. Um, but I've found that my freedom has come in me talking about it and sharing it, and even talking about the shush moments. I have a couple of poems that talk about the shh, we don't talk about it, or creating the falsehood of a home sweet home when it wasn't so sweet. Um, so yeah, those things have helped me um, quite a bit, because I wasn't able to share with the people who I needed to share with. Those who should have protected me, um, for whatever reasons, that didn't happen. So now I'm sharing so that others that are in that position can protect their babies, can protect their loved ones. And if you're not getting the protection that you need, you can seek it and not be afraid and not feel like it's your fault or feel like there's some shame to you. So, yeah, great question. Thank you.
I love the idea of trying to turn lemons, i.e., the trauma that we have suffered, into lemonade. And I think it's a beautiful thing when you can take things that have been so hurtful in your life and make a creative trajectory from trauma to trajectory, right? Like
Yeah,
rise from that. And I know that that's not always possible. And I know that we can't ever get rid of what's there. Um, but it can be, I think, in certain situations, fodder for some amazingly powerful work that can help other people. And
yeah.
I feel that from you. You read a poem the other day. I don't remember which room we were in. It might have been the Wednesday night room. But you were talking about your grandmother and why she worked.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
that poem was just amazing. And one of the things that I really resonated with me about it is it was so powerful, but it didn't feel like angry powerful. It felt growth and evolution and knowledge and understanding powerful.
yeah, yeah.
And that's a different perspective, right? Would you
Yes.
care to share? Would you care to share that poem with us?
Oh, 1 second.
Okay.
1 second.
This poem is absolutely incredible. I heard her share it. I think it was last week. Mr. Witz, was it last Wednesday? I know you're here in the room. He's nodding his head, yes. And it was so incredibly powerful. It totally moved me to tears to yeah, the best kind of tears. It was wonderful.
I someone asked me, why I'm not angry. Um, I've come to realize that sometimes people can't help you or help others if they don't know, you know? So while my grandmother didn't help in the situation, she helped in other ways and helped in the way that she knew. So that's why this piece is so endearing. So thank you. And it's called Clean Their Floors. Mhm. She cleaned your floors and cooked for you. There were no cracks in her foundation. She was good stock. At 5 years old, I'd ask her, why? Why do you clean their floors? And she said, so you won't have to be at their feet, so that you can Hold your head high and know there's always plenty to eat. Yet, I've never felt comfortable in these seats, trying to get where I fit in, squeeze out all the wrongs to suit their rights, hiding the best parts of me, as if I'm reading from some conditional scroll or script, dumbing down the beauty of my own crown. She cleaned your floors, and we still have to fight for our voices to be heard, strength to be embraced, character never erased, a bachelor degree in economics, and I'm still trying to find a place at the table. What I should have said in the beginning was my grandmother's an angel with a starch like mood. Silently, she cleaned their floors so that I can freely speak and not worry about no seat, but make my own table, honoring the labors that she poured out for me. She cleaned their floors so that I wouldn't have to. Mm, that's that piece.
I absolutely love that. I love that so much. And I think the thing that I was talking about earlier, the quality of obviously the quality of your grandmother comes through, but the quality of you really comes through. And there are people that, that we encounter who have been through some things, and you can just feel, right, that they've been through some things and they're struggling, and it's like it's this thing that they carry with them. Um, you have such strength and power and love beaming out of you. Um, there is nothing about you that says that you were put in that situation. There is nothing about you that says victim. I think I shared an anecdote with you when you were having your live, and there was someone who was talking to you in a certain way, trying to tell you about you, and I just sat there, and and you had made the comment, this space is for my, for my guests. I want everyone to shine and highlight and whatever. And this fellow was talking to you as if you didn't have enough self-esteem to read your work, right? That's for some reason you were not reading your work
Yes.
because you didn't have enough self-esteem. And I'm sitting there watching this going, dude, you don't know who you're talking to. You have no idea who you are talking to, and just ah, I love that poem so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for reading that. Yard made me cry. It really shows that generational strength of womanhood passed
Mm-hmm.
down through family,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
through recipes and traditions, and all of those wonderful things.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't know your,
Yes.
I didn't have the privilege of knowing your grandma, but I feel like if your grandma could see what you're doing for the poetry community today, I think have to think she would be very proud.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so.
You definitely love us and give us a platform to be better, you know.
Thank you.
Now you
Thank
do
you.
that in other areas of your life. Is that something that you would like to get into and talk about and share too?
Yes. So I have made what I call my full circle. Um so I went to college and came home, got the corporate job and wanted to climb the corporate ladder and actually tried to climb the corporate ladder. Um but I didn't feel comfortable once I got so far to the top. I knew that wasn't the place where I needed to be. My heart and my soul and my spirit was dampened. Um, I couldn't help people the way I wanted to. I'll just say that. Um, and I resigned from my job, my corporate job. Yeah, I don't know if that. Well, no. Now looking back, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. For a while there, we struggled, and I did find some great opportunities to serve the community, and serve people. And now skipping ahead to now, through COVID was a huge struggle, because that I quit my job right before COVID, actually, and I had a big meeting with all of my girlfriends and was like, "This is what I want to do." I literally had a PowerPoint presentation at yes, yes, I did, at a Panera Bread that I used to love going to. They had this big room in the back, and so I reserved that. I had all my girlfriends there, had coffee and sandwiches, and was like, this is what I want to do. Had the presentation. And in that presentation, it was just about I want to do my poetry. I want to do workshops for women. I want to do workshops for young people. And this is how I'm going to do it. And I need your help. And I did that. And then COVID hit. And yeah, and so that kind of stalled the plan for a while. And I had a moment where I couldn't get my footing. I was really struggling to do consulting. So I went back to actually human resources, what I was doing for corporate, and I did consulting, and that helped me get on my feet. And eventually, God brought me to this opportunity that I'm doing now. I am the executive director of an organization where I'm able to do poetry workshops with the youth through the high schools and junior high schools in my community. And I get grants to do that. I have to write grants. I didn't know that was a part, but I'm not doing too shabby. So I get grants to do poetry workshops and literacy programs in the high schools. And then I also run a food pantry as a part of that for the city of Mount Healthy. So I get to do some of the stuff I love still. But most importantly, I'm serving the community and doing work that I think matters to someone else, that's helping someone else. So I'm not serving the dollar, I'm not making the rich richer, I'm helping those who need help in my little way. So that's what I'm
Well,
doing.
as someone who is in corporate world, I will tell you that my human resources contacts are like, I don't know what I would do without them. And I have no doubt that when you were in that role, you were somebody's godsend every day. But I
I tried
understand,
to be. I tried to be. I
but I
really did.
understand what you're talking about doing something that fills your emotional cup every day because you know that you are making a difference. And one of the things that I absolutely love about poetry as a therapeutic tool is, of all the arts, it's like the only one that you don't have to take any lessons or have any expensive equipment or materials or tools or anything. Like if you have a pen and a paper, or if you have a phone or an
Right.
iPad, whatever, you can poet.
You can
Heck, you
go.
can poet without any of that. Just freestyle, right?
Right, right, right.
So I absolutely love it. That is what that you have focused on, and I can only imagine that you are a unequivocal success in that.
Try to be. Some days it's like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for even having the opportunity to bring resources, whatever that looks like, to many. Yeah.
You have a
That's right. A
poem
voice.
that I've heard. Oh, sorry, we had a question. All you need is a
Oh,
voice courageous enough to
all you
speak
need.
now. Mr.
Yeah.
Witz, always coming with the wisdom. Love him. Love you,
Oh,
Witz.
hey, escape with this.
We have some really cool people in the room here today, and it's a testament to you and how you are viewed and cared for in the community that we have all of these amazing people here in the room. Um, yeah, it says good things about you. So you have a poem that I love. It's where you've talked about your corporate, and you may have more than one. And so this may be, one of many that I don't know, but there's one where you've talked about the corporate and the career and feeling marginalized. And I absolutely love that one as well. So if that's one that you would like to share, or if you have something different, but yeah, I love that.
No. Hmm.
You remember the one I'm talking about? I can't remember any
Uh,
specific. I just remember you're talking about being in, like in the professional career setting, and that one you actually had kind of a little bit of a little bit.
Edge.
Yes, it was some edge. It was one of the things that struck me about it. I really loved that.
Okay. And then I owe you soul food because I think I read the wrong one about my grandma. I think soul food was the one that you
Well,
were
that one
referring.
and the one about she cleaned for them, both of those. I want to hear
Okay.
all the grandma poems, all the grandma, I need all the grandma.
All right. This is one. I'm Black is one of them, but this one is the newest. Empty cups. All right. Empty cups can't overflow my stream. I'm coming undone. Seams unraveling so much thread at my feet that I can't move. Floodgates of my Blackness came rushing in. Should I not rock this fro in corporate America? Could I be the one to speak out for the wrongs? Do I have the right to live in my own skin? Searching for the answers in the very hands of the people who once I had to feed. Empty cups can't overflow my stream. Invisible box up the left side. One, two, three, four. Down the right side. One, two, nope. Can't outrun the things of my past. Never quite ready for the unforeseen future. No longer trying to fit all of this round into their perfect little square. Empty box. Can't overflow my stream. So I'm down on my knees at night, not too proud to beg. Father, help me, help me. I need you to right the wrongs, turn things around, plant my feet on solid ground. Help me recognize my own value. Breathe. I hear him whisper in my ear, stronger than you know. So I write myself up out of this despair, write myself up out of this fear, write myself up out of this depression, knowing that I'm standing on the shoulders of all those who came before me, displaying their solidity. Margie L. Johnson, Gwendolyn Curley Johnson, Maya Angelou, Nikki Giovanni, Angela Davis, Phyllis Wheatley, and Gifted Johnson Wilkinson. I stand on their shadows, in their shoes, and I look in that mirror and tell myself I've been waiting on someone like you, someone to wipe my tears, love and treat me right, swoop in when things just are not right. And when the bell drops, escaping the toe tag from the loss of my innocence, I've been waiting on someone like you. I'm listening to my Lauryn Hill. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. I've been waiting on someone like you, my inner strength, because empty cups can't overflow my stream. Sometimes you got to be your own flow. Empty cups. Mhm.
Thank you so much. That was an absolutely brilliant read. Brilliant read.
Thank you.
And I felt your transformation in that. I went on that journey with you and felt that feeling. And I don't
Thank
even
you.
know how to describe it. I don't
Thank,
even know how to describe it, but you just wrote it so beautifully.
thank you. Thank you very much.
I love the line where you talked about fitting all this round into their perfect you. I
Oh,
feel that. I feel that. Yes. And there was a line, Mr. Woods quoted it. Do I have the right to live in my own skin? Oh, yes. That needs to be, I need that on a mug, on a t-shirt, on a everything.
so I worked at a very oh gosh, I don't even know how to a very rigid, I would say, um organization. I'll just say that, and I won't say the name of the organization, where you had to fit into their culture, um, which was a very, I'll just say rigid. You there was no room for individual ideas or individual um, mindsets of how things should be done. Everything was done a certain way. You followed a certain script, and you had to fall also into that script. Um, the poem "I'm Black" actually talks about that, um, because they didn't want to see my culture. As long as my hair was straight, I was fine. Um, when I began to become aware of who I wanted to be, my own identity, that became a problem for this organization. As much as how I wore my hair when it wasn't straight and it was like this, the curly mess that it is, I was disruptive, and I was told this to their daily routine, my hair. Um, and then all of a sudden, my hair became a problem, and then my ideas of wanting to even include diversity in our training, in our orientation, in our language became a problem. So I didn't fit, and it became very uncomfortable. Um, so that's where those pieces came from. Like the "I'm Black" one. I didn't want to make you uncomfortable, because my skin should matter until it does, and it did. They didn't say it in that manner, but it did. So
That is
yeah,
so dehumanizing for a corporate company work entity to suppress an individual. You know, it's
Yeah.
one thing to have an expectation of presenting professionalism, right? In the workplace, we need to have, but I believe that professionalism stems from within. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you have tattoos on your arms and you know, nose ring and blue hair. If you present yourself and you interact in a professional way, it comes from within. You know,
Yeah.
you can be completely unprofessional and look, you know, be dressed in banker from head to toe,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right. Exactly. So it
and
was
I
more
think,
about checking boxes for them than actually doing the work to ensure that we're integrating people of all thoughts, all walks, um, and all ethnicities. So, and and all cultures. I mean, just yeah. So my understanding, they're doing the work now. So kudos to them. They're not just checking the boxes, but for a long time, they were just checking the boxes.
well, I'm glad that you got out of that space and into a space where you can use, um, you know, all of your gifts. You know, obviously you were using some of them there in that role, but
Yes.
clearly you are in, and that has to be one of the major sources of, you know, when I see you and you do your show, or I see you on Wednesday night and you just have this such a beautiful aura about you, that has to be in part coming from the fact that you're fulfilled in the work that you do every day because it means so much to you and you're fulfilling that.
Absolutely. Yes, I would agree.
And it's
I love
something you can do for the rest of your life.
yes. Yeah, hopefully. Well, you know what? Even if I'm in a different capacity, you're right. It is something I could do the rest of my life. So wherever I go. So yeah, I like that.
I would like to ask you a question and get your perspective on this. One of the things that I absolutely love about our poetry community is that we celebrate our seniors, right? I think
Yeah.
there are a lot of places in our world that our elders get marginalized. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love the fact that, like, Miss Betty's here today, Miss Betty. I absolutely love the fact when Miss Betty comes in a room, people light up. They are so excited to
Yes.
see her, right? Um, I think that is a fantastic thing. Why do you think the poetry community is so embracing of everyone, be they young, old, or in between?
Mm. I think it has to do with our roots, and being in that space where we want to give back and pay homage to our roots and our foundations. Um, and that starts with saluting and honoring those who came before us. You know, I think it's always been ingrained in us to do that. Sometimes we may forget and get out of practice because I actually think we are out of practice. I don't think we talk to our elders enough the way we used to. I don't think those stories that they used to tell are being handed down because we're not taking the time to speak to one another the way we should. I think it's something that we could do a lot more of um, than we do. There used to be a time, the Sunday dinners, where you would have time for that. Family, everything was shut down, the stores, you couldn't even go anywhere. So you had no choice, right? But to stay at home and spend time with family and elders and get those stories. And I really do think we actually need to get back to doing some of that. So I'm glad that we are celebrating, but I think there needs to be more celebration, more time for talking and coming together. Um, I am, I get on myself because actually I run into Miss Betty. Um, but it's my intention to always have a conversation with her. And I keep saying, I need to call Miss Betty. I think I've called her maybe twice, maybe three times since we've known each other. But I should do it more. She's someone who is willing and open to speak to us and talk to us and share with us. And we need to do it more. So I'll say that.
I don't know, but I have a feeling that Miss Betty's social life is busier than any of ours because she is so
It probably
loving and
is.
so kind. I
It
have a
probably
feeling that
is.
Miss Betty probably talks to about 50 people a day wanting
It
her
is, but I haven't
love.
spoken to her nearly enough, so she need to make room for me too.
We all want to
So
be on
yeah.
this list. We do.
But yeah, we need to do more of that. Get back to that. You're right. I love it.
I love that. I love that. That poetry could become, the Sunday dinner of the soul in a way.
I didn't know Umi was 70. Okay. Yep.
And I
I
agree.
love it though. I love it how we create space for everyone. 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 I love it. And I want more of it. And I spoke with Devin. I'll just say that. Our friend Devin. And he shared with me his thoughts on coming on the lives and doing his poetry in front of people. And I told him he wanted to be normal, his words. But I told him, don't ever feel that way. What's normal? What is normal? Who's to say we're normal? And just, encouraged him that so many of us in our words inspire others in ways we may not even know, but we have to keep doing it because we all have a bright light inside of us. That's our duty, responsibility to share it. Yeah.
That's one of the things that I really, really love about this community is the way that we encourage each other and lift each other and provide a jumping off place for each
Yeah.
other to fly and spread our wings.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. I agree. I love that jumping off. Oh, indeed. Oh, yes, Nemo. Those are fighting words, that word. So true.
Yeah, don't get Nemo on get his back up.
Oh, wow. It's so true.
So, do you happen to remember the first actual like poetic verse poem that you ever wrote?
Oh, God. Mm-mm. Mm. No, I don't know if I even remember it. It was something about wrap me up and hold me tight.
Oh, I love
Don't
that.
let anything ooze in or seep out. Just wrap me up and hold me tight, squeezing all of your goodness into me. Wrap me up and hold me tight. Keep the warmth of your breath upon my neck and mine yours. Just wrap me up and hold me tight. It was something like that, and I don't remember the whole pieces, but that's the portion that I do remember. Um, so wanting to be held, you know, that's the other side of my coin. Oh, I can talk about love, wanting to be held and loved, and you know, I think that comes from for so many years I tried to be perfect, what everyone else wanted me to be, so as not to show what I deemed the shame of what had happened to me. And I spent so long doing that And all I really wanted was just to be in someone's arms and just breathe and be loved. So yeah, that's the flip side of that.
Your love poems are absolutely magnificent.
Thank you.
Do you have one of those or more that you would like to share?
Love, love. um, what do I have that's love that I can share that's not going
Or
in a
like
book?
love, sensual, romantic, like your voice in that area is just stunning. I mean, it's just amazing.
All right. Um, oh my gosh. All right, I don't know what this is, but we'll do this one. It says it's love. Look, it says it's love. All right. This is in the clouds. Between the float of the clouds, my love hides, never to be found, in and out of focus of their view. Suitors finding ruse in the seduction of limericks, hypnosis of my muse, like the glide of an immemorial balloon, released memories, move. But I'm used to the float, mandarin and meandering of emotions, resurrection of the same pain, following, yet not being held. Breath to be held, steady moving as the wind won't allow my still hold of my frame withheld. So when will love stay? I can only pray as I'm drifting in and out of the clouds of love, never to be found, never to be held in the clouds. Ah, not quite what we were looking for.
It was
But I knew that.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, thank
And
you, thank you.
I feel like I identified a kinship with that of like having gotten divorced and then trying to date and feeling like you're spending time with people who just don't understand. And so you're just
Yes,
kind of drifting through the clouds, sort of unseen and unrecognized. And it just, yeah,
yes,
when will love actually, like the right love actually show up?
yes, 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 yes. But I'm getting there. I am getting there.
I've been happy to see the glow that you wear these days.
Yes, 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 yes. All right, this one is better. It's called What a Woman Wants.
Oh yes.
Suitors, grab your pens. I'm asking for you to treat me like you want me, like I am the very last thing that you'll savor on your tongue. So take your tongue, outline my lips, then slowly glide into my mouth. To tongue twist with mine, teasing and licking, and as if honey had been left behind for you to rescue, like it was your duty. Captain, save the last drip. Take your left hand in the curve of my back. Now pull me in. Pull me in, right hand lifting my dress, finding its way in between my thighs, middle finger dancing, roaming through the valley of the tickle of my vulval. My leg begins to shake, vibrate. Oh, throb until I'm purring, purring your name. There's nothing wrong with a woman asking what she wants and needs, and then you answering that call. So put your hand right here, right there. Thank you.
Oh, that was absolutely just delicious. And the thing about it that is so it's so sensual. Like I can just, yeah, the sensuality of that just absolutely is forefront and it's just gorgeous.
Oh,
Luscious. I
thank,
think luscious. I think luscious is the word that I want. That is,
thank you, thank you.
I think that's the kind of love that everyone would love to have. Who would not want that kind of just passionately intense love?
Yes, sweep you off your feet type of love. Yes,
Absolutely. And not the storybook kind, the real kind. Real
yes,
man, real woman, real partner,
yes,
regardless of gender or sex, real partners with that just
yes. True.
ride or
Real.
die passion.
Right, right, exactly. So true.
You do that really well. So, what would you say is a poem that you've written that's kind of out of your normal range of topics or subjects that you wrote? What's something kind of a departure for you?
Mm, um, I was commissioned to write a piece about homelessness. So while it probably has the same thread, hope in those manners, um, it's not what I would normally write. So I had to go to a place, and this is actually what I did to see homelessness up close. And more than once I went, and I didn't only just go and to gawk and look, you know, I talked to people. And of course, yeah. But this is what I got. It's called Red Paper Cups. See me as you place those coins in my red paper cup. I was once like you. But when the bow breaks, fractured cracks become quicksand, never believing the elements of cold would know my name, be as familiar as this emptiness pain. Yet it surrounds me until the rhythm of my own shivers rock me to sleep, dreaming that this red paper cup will be the salvation I need, stamp of approval to no longer be subhuman in your sight. I was once like you, so see me. The spiral of the fall was as hard as the thought of the climb back up, but I found my middle under this bridge between the noise of the wheels that chase the race, tucked in this corrugated base that I call my own. Black and blue blankets, two handmade signs. Please help me. Please help me eat. Homeless. Please help. God bless you. And then my red paper cup with just enough space to curtail the wind. Shield me So see me searching for relief from the discomfort that this brings as I guard the serenity of my freedom and find my branch once again. After all, I am human. I am human. And still have purpose, just like you. So see me in my red paper cup.
That was amazing. And I can't imagine what it felt like to try to put yourself into the headspace to gain that understanding of what this must be like.
Yeah,
What was that
yeah.
experience like?
There's a phrase in there or a stanza that said, never knew the heart would be so fall. It was like quicksand, and it can happen to you too. I imagined that because some of these people, they were working at once, but one paycheck missed, brought it all down. These house of cards, kind of speak, so to speak. And during COVID, it was really difficult. I didn't share with very many people, that there wasn't always a paycheck. There was no paycheck. There was random payments as I did things, not bad things, but I did things just to keep some money flowing. So what if I didn't? What if I didn't have the talent or know how to reach out and open my mouth so that we could get something flowing? What if I didn't know how to make a phone call and say, I can't pay you this week, but I'll pay you next week? It could all come falling down. So when I envisioned that happening to my family, that emotion was evoked these words. Yeah.
There's a, what's that phrase there? But for the grace of God go I.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the lines in
Yeah.
that poem that really hit me, elements of cold knew my name. Never thought the elements of cold would know my name.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah. That they're out there so long that the elements, the wind, the cold, recognize them, know
mhm.
them, because they've been there for so long.
And
Yeah.
so you started a or are part of a food pantry,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
love. Was that sequential? Did that come about kind of as a, this moved me so much I did that, or were you already involved in that?
I was already involved in that, um, but not as in the same role and as I am now. So yeah.
That
Yeah.
must have been very impactful for you to come back to that role the Monday after or the whatever after and have sort of a deeper understanding of what
Right.
you're doing.
Right. And doing that poem also helped me understand the need of the people that we're serving. You know, you shouldn't have to give up food because you have to pay this bill. So there needs to be another resource so that you can do both. And then it also drives some of my movements, um, informing my staff at the pantry. We not only serve food or help families get food, but we can link them to other resources. When they come here, when their footsteps bark on our door, we should be able to help them and fill in some of the gaps. And so we do that. Yeah.
I like to think that nothing is without reason or purpose or value in our journeys.
Right.
And I have to believe that the time that you spent in that corporate role, as soul deadening as it was, that you maybe brought a perspective to what you're doing now that you couldn't necessarily have had if you had not had those experiences.
Those experiences. Absolutely. I agree. I definitely agree. Um, I agree wholeheartedly. And it's also given me connections to go back to and say, hey, why don't you come serve? Or, why don't you come sponsor? So it all connects, all things connect in some kind of way. We may not always see them right away, but eventually they connect. Yeah.
Yeah, looking back down the road, definitely you you see things that you never thought you would see, but they do kind of make sense.
Right. Absolutely.
So where do you want to take what you're doing, or is there something that you haven't done yet that you've kind of been concocting? Um,
Um, oh gosh. I'm taking steps to do those things now. So here in my city, I definitely want to continue working with the youth and giving them a voice. Um, a voice that matters. No, helping them understand that their voices matter, whatever that looks like. And I want something consistently here. Um, I also I want to travel to New York and Los Angeles and do my poetry and be heard, in many different venues. So that's definitely um something that I want to do. But here in my own community, I want to continue to serve my community, but create spaces for young people to have outlets and have an understanding of communication. The importance of literacy and communication overall is really important. Um, so yeah.
so many changes have been made to the things that are offered to young people in schools. Arts have been cut. Certainly, home economics, I don't think even exists anymore. In some
Mhm.
cases, musical opportunities have been cut. Sports are being cut. You're there on the front lines with our kids. From your perspective, what is missing that maybe used to be there and needs to be filled?
I think the youth programs that we used to have when I was in school, for example, which was a long time ago, but we're not going to talk about that. But the programs that allowed youth to just express and be themselves. I know for me, I did. We had Black Cultural Workshop. It was called BCW, but it was an organization. We would meet after school, and whether you sing, dance, or did art, modeled, or did poetry, you could come to this club and we would practice it. They would give us resources. People would come in and talk to us, and then we would do talent shows. Being able to express ourselves. Um, Having clubs and organizations for students to express themselves creatively is what's missing. We don't have that. Um, the schools are just not providing that. They're trying to now, the race and is to fill the gap from the COVID gap, the corona is whatever they're calling it. And you're checking these boxes that are not giving the students what is really missing, the freedom to be themselves, the freedom to express themselves, to learn that it's okay to do that, to learn that it's okay to just be themselves, whatever that looks like. Because you're still going to get the class curriculum, you know? Everyone's so running the race. But if you have an outlet where you're not putting some box telling you that you're failing, but just an outlet to be you, whatever that looks like creatively, that's what we're missing. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're missing.
So how, because I've thought about this very thing that you're talking about, and how do we as a society address that? And and it seems sometimes thinking about it that the needs are so great, like how can they ever all be met, right? Because it's not just, it's like multi-layered, right? So if we provide a creative space, but how is this kid going to get there? Who's going to give him or her a ride, right, to get there? And did they eat anything before,
Mhm.
they came? And just, kind of all of these things, spinning around. And it kind of made me wonder, like, remember the days of like the community center,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
yes.
then that kind of went away, right? The
It
community center.
did. It did. Yes. And so we have funding for so many other things, right? We can find the funding for those types of community organizations. But here's what we also can do. Partner schools are lacking those necessary partnerships, collaborations that will help them do these things. So my organization, because I do, like you, recognize transportation as a huge issue and can be a huge barrier to these programs. So I take my programs to the schools so that students won't have to travel anywhere. So remove that barrier. Let's talk about barriers that we can remove to make it possible for students to participate. Getting parents engaged. How do we get? So I can go on and on talking about this because this is what I do. But yeah, thinking about all those types of barriers and definitely being more open, schools being more open to collaborations and partnerships when it comes to investing in our students.
Absolutely. And I have a feeling that you do that very, very well.
I try. My goal. Thank
They are lucky to have you as their advocate. This I know. Unequivocally, this I know.
you. Thank you for saying it.
So you've got some pretty big goals and dreams for what you want to do moving forward to help the community. What would you like to do, goals and dreams wise, with your poetry?
I definitely have some books that I've been working on that I want to get out. Um, you know, the book of my story. Um, I have a couple children's books that I've started. Um, there's a really important book that Mr. Woods and I have been working on. Um, yeah, I know I do. That I want to get out. So getting sharing my words through these books is a goal of mine. But not only sharing my words in these books, but being able to travel and to bookstores and actually have readings and sharing them in that manner. That's a goal of mine as well. I've been fortunate enough to work with a Barnes and Noble here um, in my community, but I want to do that more. And so understanding all of that and the dynamics of that, having an ISBN number that can get the books in the bookstores and all of that, getting that understanding, and then being able to share my work um, publicly throughout the US and who knows, Canada and Hawaii. No, Hawaii, Hawaii.
Well, I think that it is a wonderful thing for you to expand your footprint. Um, you are a fantastic act to follow. And I just have enjoyed so much getting to know you and look forward to getting to know you anymore and giving you an absolutely enormous hug
Oh,
when the Poetry
I
Festival
take it.
comes.
Definitely take it.
It's going to
I
be
love it.
a lot of fun. Would you like to share one more poem, maybe, before we end the show?
Yes, I would love it.
Give us some sweet words to end on.
Mm, okay. I don't want to end on a bad note. Oh, got it. Got it. Got it. All right. This is a good piece to end on, I think. Yeah. All right. This is a great piece to end on. All right. And it's called Put Your Finger Here or Here. All right. Put your finger here and press down. Feel the pressure pushing you in a direction you're unsure you want to be. Uncertainty swirls about, doubt blinds your climb, wandering aimlessly. Where's a smile? And the light of your plight, barring clear understanding of your aspirations. When will the oppression end? When you stop. When you stop at the burned ashes, looking back at the burned ashes, and allow the wind to pick you up, catch your wings so that you can fly. Stop looking back, but look forward, aim forward, rise up in your ambitions, soar in your greatness, and speak with confidence. Stop looking back at the burned ashes. Stop waiting for someone to lift you. Stop being afraid of the fall and just put your finger here and press down. Feel the pulse of your still beating heart and know that there's still time for you to soar into your greatness. That's the
Yes.
piece.
So you know I have nicknames for everybody, right? You know I nickname everybody because I just,
Yes.
I love everybody. I give everybody, and you know that I call Mr. Witts the preacher, right? I call him the preacher,
Yes.
and Jai is the teacher, the preacher and the teacher.
Teacher.
May I give you a nickname?
Oh, thank you. Yes, yes.
You the Phoenix.
I love that. Oh, I love that.
You're absolutely the Phoenix, and just you rise in such a beautiful way. Thank you for sharing that for us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. You lifted my spirits today.
Thank you so much. I see Miss
You
Betty over
all
here.
rock. You all rock.
Thank you guys so much. This has been an amazing show. Sharing this time with Gifted. She's absolutely just an incredible, as you see, she's an incredible human, an incredible poet, an incredible friend. We need to talk about where they can find your books because I know after hearing these amazing poems you've shared, people are going to want to know where can they find you.
So all of my books, there's only three of them right now, but more to come. But right now they're on Amazon. So you can find those on Amazon under Gifted Johnson Wilkinson. Yeah.
Oh, soul food. We didn't hear soul food.
Oh, okay.
We can't end the show
Oh,
without soul food. We got to hear soul food.
soul food.
I
All
don't care if
right.
we're over an hour. That does not matter. It's important.
I'm so sorry.
Soul
All right.
food.
Got it. Thank you all so much for just like having me in this space and being here, showing up, and just allowing me to be free to share my journey. I appreciate that. And that means a lot to me. And so thank you, Whisper. Thank you, Catalyst, for having me.
A huge thank you to you. You've inspired me so much. Like, oh, thank you. Truly.
Thank you. I appreciate you all. All right. Let's see. Uh-oh. What did I do? I hit the wrong thing. Get that out of here. All right, here we go. The comments came really big and I couldn't see anybody. All right, here we go. Soul food. She put her foot in it. That good. Mouth watering mac and cheese with 4 or 5 different kinds of cheese. Fried chicken seasoned and crisp just right. Sweet potatoes, okra, buttermilk biscuits, and hand picked garden fresh greens. She put her foot in it, good and plenty for all to eat. In her kitchen is where we'd meet, laugh, share, and grow. Yo mama, yo daddy, aunties, and first cousins removed, gathered at her place, allowed the rest of the world to just stop. Unshouldered the burdens, loosened the shackles, and had a seat at the table. Masked mental blues were soothed with the aroma of comfort that sucked you in and snuggled you tight, like the soul food cooking in her kitchen. A welcoming atmosphere for all to consume. Grandma's table supported more than just hunger. It fed our souls and nourished our true being. Grandma's kitchen is where she cooked soul food.
We could not have ended the show on a better note than that absolutely
Oh, good.
joyous story. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Yes, so good, so good. And you have been food for our souls too. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
my dear
you.
friend. Huge, huge hugs.
Thank
Huge
you.
hugs.
Hugs, hugs. Thank you so much. I have enjoyed this so very much and needed this. So I appreciate you so much.
I am glad. And thank you all for being here with us for the Heart of the
Thank
Artist.
you.
This show has been such a joy, and it's due to people like Gifted who come on here and just are so generous with their hearts and their words. And so much love.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you for being
much
here,
love.
and we will see you next time. Catalyst.
Thank you so much. See you all
Thank
next
you.
week. Mwah.
Mwah.